Hi, guys. Welcome back to Finding Your Indie. I'm Bonnie Paulson.
And I'm Andy Stevens.
And we are so excited today. We have a special guest. We're going to let her introduce herself in just a moment. But I just want to say that I have been so excited to work with her when I saw that she filled out our form. Yay, we have an ad account audit. Woo! And so, without further ado, here's Stephanie Harrell. She's a sweetheart. She's going to introduce herself and her brand. And then we're going to dive into her ad account and see what's going on.
Thank you, Bonnie. I was very, very excited when you contacted me to say that we're going to go over my account because I can use the help. So I write contemporary romance and with a little, I can always say with a fairy tale twist. So like Disney, but a little darker, if I can say that. I mean, they're not dark romances, although I will be heading a little bit more into that direction. But when I started writing, I'd actually began with a fairy tale romance in the Paranormal Academy. And
Cool.
after that, I ended up doing a little offshoot into contemporary romance. So that's my focus now.
Okay.
And when I started with that, I started writing plus size heroines. So that's a big focus of my brand because I wanted to see more people like me in the books that I read. And it was an author friend who that's what she wrote. I remember before I even started writing and before her and I became friends, writing her saying, I can't believe we can write like this. Like I always thought everyone had to be a size 6 or an 8. Like I didn't feel represented. Right.
Right.
And when I wrote this to her, I sent it. And even now, I reminded her a year ago, and she's like, oh, that's right, I forgot. But it was a great start to my journey, and I really love it. I love the messages that I get from my readers. So I'm continuing with that. Each of my stories are, like I said, fairy tale retellings. They're not an exact like replica of it. So I just take the pieces that resonate with me and I put them into the story and create something new.
That's
Nice.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, sweet. Well, I am not gonna lie, I did peek at some of your work and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be even funner. Thank you. Okay, so just so you know, we're gonna dive in. We'll make suggestions. We've talked about this before, just a little bit before we started, just so you kind of knew what to expect. And if you have any questions or you want me to stop, just say, Bonnie, don't include that, whatever. Okay.
Sure.
Mandy, anything before we start? Before I go in?
Nope, I'm excited to hop in.
Okay, here we go. We're going to go into the account. I'm going to share screen. Okay, so here we are. We're going to be in Stephanie's ad account right now. And remember, viewers, those of you watching, you will not see things that is proprietary information. For instance, audiences, anything like the ad account ID, anything like that, that is to protect Stephanie and to also protect any suggestions and stuff that we make. So outside of that, let's dive in. It looks like you have 2 campaigns in here. Have you been running other campaigns at all? It looks like maybe
No.
so this is it. Okay.
This is it. So I first started in May, and I decided to start with just the first book of my series. The one that you see prior to that, I started that was a few years ago, and that was my paranormal romance. So I don't run ads to that because I don't push that because I didn't finish the series.
Okay.
So it's there, but I really am focusing on my contemporary romance because especially now because I'm finishing that series this month. So the last book is coming out before I start the new one.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So let's go in and we're just going to kind of take a look. Okay. So you have multiple ad sets in here.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just pull one up and I'm going to go with the bottom one here. It's,
that was the very first one that I started in May.
Okay. Okay. So your size is good. Mandy, jump in if you want to say anything. Okay. So
Yeah, I will.
United States, female. Wow, that's a pretty okay. So you started these?
Yes.
Okay. So what made you pick the difference between like say Danielle Steele and E.L. James? I'm just wondering what made you pick those?
Well, one was just, romance and then also steamy because I write steamy books.
Okay.
So I was trying to like cover all my bases.
Got it. Okay.
And it's hard to because when you go in and look for different authors, not everyone you're looking for is there.
Right.
So
Right.
to narrow that down and pick the ones that I don't know, like accurately represent me. I thought that was really difficult.
Yeah, good answer. Yeah, you're right. It is really difficult. Okay, so I would definitely I think that you're not I don't think you're narrowed enough, maybe if that's what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And at the same time not broad enough. So if you're going to do a 2-tier one like this, I would do more than just romance novels or contemporary romance. I would do, add on to that. like maybe romance novels. Obviously you have romance novels, not romance novels, romance movies, whatever, something nice and big to really broaden out that number.
Okay.
And then I would say what Mandy had mentioned was, we have no idea where your reader's at. What's your reader reading on? Is it Barnes and Noble? Is it iBooks? Is it Wattpad?
Right.
Like, I would definitely use that and narrow using that, because that will help it'll help Facebook show your ads to who needs to find them. Okay.
Well, and that's part of my concern, was that I was wondering if it just couldn't figure out who to send it to. And maybe because I was getting clicks, but I didn't have the buy-through rate. And that was what was concerning me.
Okay. All right. So, and we'll also check the ads and check the ad and your landing page to see if that's
okay.
If there's
and you're in KU, so you may have gotten people who read Google Play or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, I don't buy from Amazon, so
yeah,
you definitely need to narrow that down. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and really and truly, I'm willing to try anything, regardless if I tried before. It was a few weeks, and then maybe with other tweaks, that might make a difference too.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll keep going. Okay. So just some ideas to keep in mind. I love that. Okay. Yes. Gender. That's good. You might open that up to 25 for age, and then manual placements. Okay. I would definitely have audience network and include that. Mandy, grab me anything if you see anything too.
I'm looking.
So I would do this one. I'm just going to click it. I'm not going to actually publish the changes.
That's okay.
I'll click this one and then not do the video. Okay. So it's just this first one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, okay, let's see. What are you getting charged? When are you getting charged? Okay. So you're getting charged for impressions, and you can do link click. So you need to be picking link click.
I did change that with the newer set of ads. So one side, because I had gone back and because initially it didn't allow me to choose that.
Right.
You
have to earn it. Sorry, Stephanie, you have to buy it. You bought in. Good job. Okay.
Check.
All right. Okay. So let's go in and just kind of check out an ad. I just want to see what the placement looks like. And I'm going to move my video over here. Okay. So that looks like a really good one.
That was one of my higher performing ones on TikTok. So that was kind of how I started to pick what excerpts I wanted to add into my ad account. And I thought, what performed well? And then I pulled those and put it to here.
Okay. So one thing that I love that. I think that's great. I think one thing, and I know it seems like a small tweak, but it is like a difference of like click-through rate. Like, I'm not joking. It's like this much. So see how it's kind of looks like a block here?
Yes.
If you put a space in between, it actually helps a lot of people, because it no longer
helps people like me read it, because I can't read a block.
Yeah, people will see that block and they won't read it.
I won't read it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like such a stupid tweak, but it really is. It makes a difference. See how it looks readable now?
Right.
Okay, so that really is something that is important. I would say read in Kindle Unlimited. Yes, I would not put that in free in Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
Unless that really irks some people.
It does.
Like some readers, they're like, it's not free.
I pay for it.
Yeah.
I pay for my gym membership I don't use. Not free. So yeah, like really. So you can do that. But plus you haven't been targeting Kindle Unlimited.
No, I haven't.
So it's almost like you're saying, hey, it's free, but it's
free for some of you.
It's free for some of you, but not everybody. Yeah. I would have put
better headline.
I would have put the review up there instead and switched those two.
Oh, okay.
So but take out those stars.
Yeah. Yeah. You can remove the stars.
I saw that in one of your other videos. You had mentioned that too. And I was like, oh, I have stars in there.
I know. And I'm testing right now emojis, and I'm super freaking out. I swear if they shut down my ad account because of everything that's been happening the last few days, I'm going to flip my lid.
I wouldn't. You know better. You know better, Bonnie. Don't do
testing. I can't help it. I can't help it. I have to.
These bots are insane right now.
I know they're on crack. It's fine. Okay. It's fine. Call to action, not download. It's going to be shop now.
Shop now. Okay.
This has actually been
I never even thought to use that one at all.
I couldn't find shop now. Oh, there it is. Well, I was setting up an ad the other day.
Okay.
And I couldn't even find shop now.
So I always choose like download or learn more or but I never even thought of Shop Now.
So you shop now because what that does is it teaches them intent. It proves their intent. It doesn't teach them anything. It proves their intent. Okay, I'm shop now. I'm willing to go, right? And it also puts in the mindset of, okay, I'm going to go do this. Now, when people will not click on the download one, not will not, but the majority of people don't because they're thinking, oh, I have to buy it right now. Like it's going to be.
Okay. No, that actually makes a lot of sense because I've had people just in my newsletter alone, message me say, if I click that, does it mean I bought it? And I was like, no. It just takes you to the site and then you can make your choice. So that makes a lot of sense when you say it like that.
Yeah. So do that. And then the learn more is fine. But when it's learn more, they're not expecting to go to a landing page to purchase it. They're thinking I'm going to learn something else about this, or if there's another video or something, right?
Right.
Shop now is the best one to use.
And you're being direct too, I think. Like you said, their expectations already set.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is shop now. Sorry, if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, we're expecting some money from you.
Right.
And you have reader links, so I would use the reader link.
Yeah,
I know. I really do need to take more advantage of that.
Yeah. So, and that's really easy. I'm actually going to go in and show you. Do you know how to go in here and use the links in here? Okay.
No, that's why I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
I'm sure
So it's
really easy.
It's really fast. Since you added us, I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to actually create an automatic tool for you.
Oh, thank you. That's fantastic.
And that's it. So what happens now is for every book, you'll have that Facebook ad and it will automatically be linked for you. So let's go. So you go to books, you go to the book that you want to pick, you go to links.
Yeah.
It is right. The one I just did is right here.
Oh, all right. Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. So it's all ready for you. It's already populated. So just copy and use that link right there. And then it will show you the clicks and whatever. So really good information. Okay. So that's how, and then like Mandy said, and then this way, what's really nice is if something happens and that link doesn't work, the link itself, you don't have to change it out of your ad. You can actually go in and just adjust it in the reader links portion instead of having to go in and fix your ads and put them into learning, because any changes like that does affect learning. Okay. Since you're not doing direct sales, this is great that you're still gathering your data. So that's awesome. And I think those are just the little changes I would make to that one. Okay. So let's go back into a different ad set. Let's do one that's more current.
Okay. Oh, yeah. The winners. So when my ads weren't working and I was getting desperate too, I thought, okay, they're not, somehow Facebook is not realizing who to send, my ads to, because getting the clicks, but not the buy.
Right.
And so I then went back into like test mode. And that's where I put down, did 2 separate ones. And so what is in this ad is what won basically in each of those tests.
Okay.
Between the photo and the excerpt. And it was amazing. It was like night and day between the ones I picked and the ones that didn't make it.
Interesting. Okay. That's really cool. So so you have your audience size. There's going to be a bunch of different variables we're probably going to be hitting on here.
Okay.
So, all right. Number of link clicks. Great. You got CPC here. I'm surprised you're actually, Mandy, with how you and I have been talking about how audience size has to be going up with the 50% rule. I'm not surprised that that's working.
Yeah.
Budget and schedule of $5. Okay. Audience. So you did US, you opened up the age. Awesome. Okay. So you did, this is very similar to unrestricted targeting.
Okay.
And so unrestricted targeting, we don't love it.
Okay.
We know people love it. We don't love it. And it's like you said, Facebook isn't sure who to send it to. And here's why. Facebook isn't sure who to send it to, because these are traffic ads. They don't know what's happening beyond the click. Okay. They can be, they're using your pixel, but there's no events that it's tracking, right? Like, because that's after it goes to Amazon, it has no access to Amazon API. So it doesn't know what's happening beyond the click. So it doesn't know if Danielle Still readers actually like your stuff. All they know is that, hey, they're clicking the crap out of it. Right.
Right.
So this is where we always talk about traffic ads being very important, that you actually do target. You break it down in 2 tiers. Sometimes we do 3. We've had people do 5 tiers. Like you do whatever you need to do. 14 million is kind of high. We actually prefer between 8 and 12 million. Usually, I know it seems like it's kind of it's only a few million more. It's actually a lot.
Right. But especially at the amount that I started with. So, because at this point, I had thought by September, I would be spending substantially more than what I have. I had anticipated that. So I'm like, take my money, please. I want to spend more. It was just when they weren't performing. I was like, I can't keep throwing money at this.
No.
So, and I'm going to say something about your targeting. I would definitely look at that because even though some of these authors are spicy, they're completely like night and day.
Okay.
I would take out 3 of those authors
I was
for your
thinking
book
the same
personally.
thing.
So I would keep the second one
Okay.
and the last one,
Okay.
and take out the others because they're just like, I was like, that's nothing like your book at all. So
Right. And you
yeah.
really, I know a
Rookie
lot of people
mistake.
are, yeah, right. So people are like, well, I want the exact same, like it's the same type. And you don't really need that. Mandy's right though. These authors that you have selected, the feel is different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that
what
makes
I was
sense.
just gonna say. The feel of them is
Yeah.
very different, especially
Yeah. So you can
for
even have paranormal authors in there.
Mm.
If you like Cassandra Clare, because it's the feel of it,
Yeah.
right? Like it's
Right.
that sexy, angsty, oh my goodness, excitement. It's okay
Right.
if there's no dragons in yours, right? Or no magic.
Okay.
It's okay.
Mhm.
What you're looking for is that it's almost like a lot of these the reason we're
Mhm.
not saying the names is because we don't want to give away your audiences, but like a lot of these are the traditional style of writers, and that's very
It's a different feel to it.
it's a different
Right. No,
feel.
that makes a lot of sense. And it's funny how like I think like I did kind of pigeonhole myself where I thought I was very rigid, I guess, in my thinking, and that it had to be just romance. It had to be like a specific, type. And I hadn't even thought about the whole paranormal romance component because you're right, it is the feel, and I think I've always like struggled a little bit with that, when it comes to my writing, because I don't write the magic side of retellings. I write the contemporary. And so there's definitely a divide there. But
Then
I
make
mean,
sure
I
and say
want to
that.
have
Like,
readers who read everything.
yeah, like do an ad and have your creative and stuff be something like Beauty and the Beast retelling contemporary twists, contemporary fairy tale retellings. You like really be like
Yes.
modern
Great
day.
headlines.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
really make it a
Yeah.
thing and really attract to those people who do like the fairy tales and the paranormals and stuff. But tell them, hey, it's this with this kind of expectation, right?
Right.
So when you do that, then you're just
definitely
saying,
makes a lot of sense.
this is how, this is what I'm delivering. So I love the hookiness that you have on the ad. Let's go in and actually look at one of your winning ads. We're going to go with Guy 2. Oh, you've been avoiding me for days. No, I have not. Goodness, that's a really good picture. He is used on so many things that I've never seen that picture of him.
Oh, really? That's so
I
funny.
love that.
And it's funny because out of all the pictures I had, I didn't think that one would win, and I don't know why. And when it did, I was like, oh, well, clearly it's good that I'm not just picking the one, because I wouldn't have been correct.
That image with the first text is totally eye-catching, like huge. Like but instead of putting free and Kindle Unlimited, I would have put something like, why are you avoiding him?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, why are you avoiding him? Like to be like, or go read about this guy, or so, like something
right.
like
It's the intrigue of it, right? Like,
yeah,
what happened?
like because I saw that and I was like, why would anybody avoid you? Why, you poor thing? you poor
Here, let me console you.
Right. Come here for a minute.
Right. Okay. So here we are again. If we just I'm going to open that up again just so you can kind of see. So if you just open it, it actually is easier. Now be careful of this kind of stuff. Okay. Because it doesn't matter about the asterisks. That's fine. But if Facebook is having one of their fun little bot days, or Mercury's in retrograde, or whatever is going on with their craziness, they could actually say, oh, that's actually covering, you're trying to do a pretend word and you're trying to make it be something that it's not. So
honestly, I really probably could just delete that. It's not going to affect the rest.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that's, and then you can leave read in Kindle Unlimited. You can also put in there, I don't know if it has paperback or audiobook or anything, but definitely put something like that.
Oh yeah, I have paperback too. Yeah, I do not have
ebook / paperback. That's a common thing that we do.
I like to put binge the series also available in Kindle Unlimited, so people know that
that's a good one.
It's not just in Kindle Unlimited that anybody can go buy this book.
Now, let me ask you something. So, because I do like that wording a lot. Now, because it's going to be complete as a 22nd, should I say like binge the complete series? Because some people are really drawn to when it's done.
Yes.
Okay, I'll read it.
Absolutely.
Yes, give them as much information.
If you're finally at that point.
Yeah, right. And give them information. Be like, hey, if you're looking for this, also grab the box set. There's nothing that says you can't put the link for the box set under, when you have that. Like, It's
Yeah.
just one more thing to give them more information.
Okay.
And if you like, I don't know if you test blurbs. Let's look up guide number 1. Actually, hold on really quick. So read free and Kindle Unlimited, that should not be your headline.
No.
Switch those two. Put your review up there and and again, not read free, but maybe KU/paperback or whatever. Unput downable, whatever, something like that. Call to action should be shop now. Website, reader link says,
was something a few readers have said this to me. It's like the book I never knew I needed.
There you
So
go.
I did.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I was like, oh my, because it's so true. So many people, when I tell them about my books, they're like, oh, a contemporary retelling? I didn't know I needed that until you told me you wrote this.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. So put that in there. That's a great eye catcher. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at guy 1. Why did
that looks like a thriller? That looks like a thriller to me.
Okay.
I look at that and it looks like he's a detective and he's going to arrest me. That's what that looks like.
Notice
to me.
she's not caring. It's fine. Okay. I think it can be, I think it's fine. I think it kind of gives off that 50 Shades feel from the movie things,
Right.
I didn't watch the movie. Like,
I never watched it, so I don't know.
I watched it on cable, so everything was edited out.
Right.
So it was pretty much.
It was a really short movie.
It was a really short movie. But every time you turn around, he's going like this. Or he's like looking with his eyes and he's like, Anna.
That's so fun.
Whatever.
I've not actually watched the movie or read the books.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I feel like that kind of gives the little bit of a.
Yeah. I mean, I know about it. I've seen like scenes and yeah.
I mean, I guess I can see where he's sexy, but just because I run ads for so many,
I know,
different people, I would have chosen something like that, like a full body of that. For
what's so interesting too? The one picture that I had started to use in the very beginning that I love, I didn't perform as well as that one, and I couldn't believe it was. And I'm telling you, when the pictures came back as to what people were actually clicking on, I was like, really?
But were they buying? But were they buying? Were they buying?
No, no,
because they thought it was a thriller.
Clearly not. Right?
It's like he's going to arrest me, but then they said, "Oh wait, he's not going to arrest me." So
right,
I'm gonna go into your test sets here.
Okay.
Oh, you did some dynamic. So this kind of sucks. I'm gonna say it though.
Okay.
You don't actually know which one won or not.
Really?
Like, you don't actually know.
Oh. Okay.
So. Yeah, like Mandy's saying, like that image is like, yeah, it got really good. Yeah, no, but she said,
okay,
you weren't making money. Like she said, you're not delivering the same experience. I noticed you're not using your blurb. I'm going to go into Amazon and we're going to find it. Okay. What's the name of the book? Ignore my
Fake Dating Mr. Prince. I do like the blurb on this. Like, I feel like it's pretty strong.
Okay, then you should, because here's the thing is, I love the excerpt idea. Totally dig that. I think it's really important. However, when we're trying to get someone to be cold from Facebook and then have them be pulled off the site to go over something else, you have to have a very similar experience. So it's like the friction's not there, right? So they come over here and they're like, okay, I've got to move this over here. Okay. So Fake Dating Mr. Prince, that wasn't anywhere on there. Mm-hmm. Then they come down and it's like, nothing is familiar to what I was doing. I saw the ad. Nothing looks the same. Mm-hmm. If you have like this, I would actually use this. I would cut. If you have the cover without the text on it, I would use that.
Oh, okay.
Will Facebook let that go through?
Yes, there's no nipple and there's no girl kissing it. That will go through.
So use that as my photo.
Yes, if you have it without the text on it. If you don't have it without the text on it, this is for anybody who doesn't, like maybe doesn't. I would take this into Canva or BookBrush, do 1080 by 1080, and I would make it so blow this up so this is the only part that you see, right? Okay. I would do that. That's where I would start. I would use your blurb, leave the hearts, whatever. I don't care. You do you. But
okay, so now that I'm over here, I would definitely take some of these tropes and put it into headlines so people know exactly what they're getting.
Yes. Playboy.
Because
like
CEO, Prince, people know, have a really good understanding of, okay, I like this. I'm going to click. I'm going to go over and buy.
Yeah. And if you're like, I don't know what they are, Mandy teaches Like you go in, you can take all these, you put them into chat and you just say, hey, can you tell me what tropes and marketable points are inside my book that I can highlight as headlines for Facebook ads? Bam, you'll have like 30 right then. Okay.
That's awesome.
Use
Yeah,
them.
I'm going to do a video on that too, I think, for
Do
us
it.
here.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Do it. Fans of fake dating and opposites attract romances with this. I mean, like you've got lots here with this Cinderella retelling. You can use that as just a primary text.
Yep.
Okay.
So you want to deliver the same feeling here that you have on your ads. Yes, excerpts work. Absolutely, they work. But you're delivering an excerpt without any information in your headline besides maybe a review, and then your images aren't similar. So like you can test excerpts with this same cover, like with the cover image, because at least they come over here and they're like, oh yeah, I reckon this is what I was supposed to go to.
Recognize that. And they know by the cover, or they should, that what type of, romance it is.
Yes. I would even do, and I've been doing this a lot with some of my audience, with some of my authors right now, because I have a lot of steamy authors, and like we're getting dinged for them holding hands, for crying out loud. Like this is a thing. So I've been actually doing in the book brush, the images, like the cover, like images just in those instant mock-ups. What are they called? Instant mock-ups, I think, Mandy, right? Instant mock-ups. Yeah. Okay. I'll just grab like 10 of those, whatever. It doesn't matter. The cover's there. Nobody cares about the background. It's the cover. So it's, the cover's in the image. I've been using those, and the CPC is up a little bit. We're talking like 17 to 20, but the conversion is a little bit higher, and I'm not getting rejected.
Right.
And right now, with all of their bots going a little psychotic, I would test that, a couple things with that, right? Like I would test using this cover. I would test using the coverlet or the fontless cover. I would test using the square. Like I would test a lot of it because you really want to make sure that your experience from the ad is similar to the landing page. Yeah. So here's a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mandy.
Okay. And I was going to say about the CPC, I think sometimes people freak out. Oh, it's got to be 10 cents. It can be 20 cents as long as it's working. You're getting the conversions. You're getting the read through. Who cares? You are making money.
It can be 40 cents if you're making money.
People focus on the little things way too much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not as important.
A little bit on that, but it was definitely the whole overarching, like I'm not selling, because I know Mandy and I talked a little before, but I had been running TikTok, they're not ads, but I had been using TikTok last summer, and probably a few months back I had stopped using it, and that's when I saw my sales drop, and I've been wanting to get back into it, but I've held off because I really want to figure out the ads right now. And I don't want to muddy the waters, and that was my concern, because I did do well previously with TikTok. I would have no idea if that was working versus my ads or anything like that. So I'm really trying to get this figured out so that I can jump back into that.
So TikTok the rug can be pulled out at any point in time. So I think it is important that you're learning your ads, you build your business, and you also might want to consider running a magnet ad to build your newsletter. That way you have that part of your business growing too.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Good idea. Now, just a heads up on TikTok, there's an article that came out. I'll put the link to the article in the description, y'all. And it was that TikTok is now saying that coming soon, like soon, I don't know what the date is, but that they're going to stop allowing any retailer links off of their site. So Amazon won't be allowed, Barnes and Noble. Now, remember, if you have a website, you can actually put it to your website. They said it's the major retailers. They didn't say anything about the smaller thing. So you can still send them people there. Here's this, go check this out on Kindle Unlimited. If you decide, here's a paperback, whatever. So you can do those types of things from TikTok, but they were else. Like I said, I'll put that link to that article. John Logson found it for me.
Right. And aren't they doing their own book? Aren't they doing their own book publishing now? Because Book Talk it is so huge that they're like, oh, money. So, but I heard they're paying like crap.
The royalties are terrible. I was hearing that. Yeah. Sorry. We totally digress.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
So to get back to why we want the landing page to be similar to the ad experience, imagine if you saw an ad and there were pictures of feet and there were super cute shoes and they're talking about how great this woman feels. And then they go over and it's a medicine landing page. You'd be like, I wanted those shoes. Right. So that's why we just want to make sure that our landing page, we want to remove that friction as much as we can. So have everything be the same. So they've already got in their mind that they want to buy it or they want to look at it more. They actually, I want to read that. That looks really good. And your blurb looks really strong.
And so they're like, I love these tropes. Let me go get it now. now.
Right. Which is, I mean, it's funny, it's in my title too, like the trope. But
Mhm.
so when I start
But
off,
your title wasn't anywhere on your ads
I
at all.
know, right? That was my problem. So when I do this, I take, like you were saying, use preferably the cover without the words, which I can do. And then should I add in some of the other photos that I have just to see what else works and let Facebook
Yeah.
choose, or just start strong with the blurb in that one?
I think
I would do a few ads. I would do a few ads under one ad set.
Okay.
yeah.
So start off with a few separate ads. Okay.
But make
Yeah.
sure you're using things like your tropes, the name of the
Mhm.
series, or at the bottom you can say, by fake dating Mr. Prince, or
Right.
read the
if you're
Curvy
not
Ever After
yeah.
series.
If you're
Okay.
not putting the blurb in your ad, you can put whatever else you want. If you're not putting the blurb in the ad, you need to have your book cover there. Period.
Okay.
Some version, some iteration of your book cover, whether it's
Right.
without the font, whether it's the cover in a book brush instant mock-up, it doesn't matter. Get the cover on there because right now they're coming and there's nothing similar.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
You don't even have an excerpt in here. So it's like, I don't know if
Right.
this
That
is where I'm
makes
supposed
sense.
to be.
Okay. So it's probably, maybe that's what the biggest, sticking point was, the confusion.
Yeah, I think that's a huge difference.
I mean,
Okay.
your ads were pretty though.
Yeah, very
pretty.
The
very
words
now
are
we know why
great, the pictures are lovely, but it's not working.
no, and the excerpts were great, nice strong excerpts. It's just there's nothing, there's no
Right.
correlation between the two, and you have to have cohesion between your landing page and your product page. Really quick, let's go into your book, into your AHS, and we're going to actually look at your series sell-through read-through.
Okay. That I do need to work on. That's kind of was like my secondary focus, because 1 to 2 isn't fantastic. But I had somebody who formatted my book for me, and we are now in the process of changing like some of the back matter, because
Okay.
originally I had them going to a freebie, like not an excerpt, but like an extended epilogue instead of directly to the second book. And so we've talked, because she formatted the first 3 books, and so now we're in the process of changing it.
Changing it to what? Going to book 2?
Going to book 2 and then book 3.
Okay, so really quick, how many downloads were you getting from for that extended epilogue or that extended scene?
I mean, it's slowed down now. I mean, I was getting quite a few going through.
That
So they
to
were in
me,
my newsletter.
that is more important than getting your read through.
Really? Okay.
So yeah, so I would leave that. In fact,
Okay.
in IMM, we teach that you do that between like every book,
Okay.
like literally every book.
Because
And
that
then
was
what
my
you do
initial
is-
goal too, was because when I was so new, I was like, okay, I need to build my newsletter because that's the only thing I can control right now.
That's the
And
only thing you
that's
can
why it was
control.
first.
Yes.
Okay.
So then here's my question. You did that bonus scene. What did your drip look like? Did it have like, hey, go check out book 2, or what did it do? Here's the extended scene.
Well, yeah. Or I mean, I think I said something about the couple, and then I gave the link, to like that bonus.
And that was it.
Yes.
That's why your read through is not very good. Is
Okay.
because you didn't utilize that list of people. Like you literally were like, here's the bonus scene. Have fun.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye. I'll email you eventually.
Yeah. But what you need to do is you need to go back in and you need to be like, hey, did you get a chance to, I know you got the scene. Did you get a chance to read it? Did you know that blah, blah, blah happens in book 2? Have you had a chance to read it?
Yes.
Put the link. And I swear everybody and their dog thinks that their entire newsletter list has read everything in their thing. No, that's not.
That makes
They haven't.
sense. And I do a better job of that in 4 and 5. So I took over formatting myself, and I linked those, especially towards the end, it was a little easier, but like certain characters in the books, I linked it to like, oh, did you love these guys? Like, do you want to see what they're, when they first get together, or, whatever it was,
Right.
I picked out, and then I would say, put the link to that book too. So sometimes I have 2 or 3 listed at the end, but that was really with 4 and 5. And then with 6, I'm doing the same thing with those other characters. But you're right, I didn't do that in the first few, and I think that probably is hurting me.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, hey, don't forget book 2, right?
Right.
So you were getting signups. That's like the ideal thing. That's what you want. So
Right.
make sure and email them and say, did you get a chance to check out book 2? So I would have your call to action, and then I would have so it's for the newsletter. And then I would say, hey, if you don't want to sign up for the bonus, go check out book 2.
Right. Okay.
And now your read through looks really strong. Did you have a sale on book 2?
Oh, I did a Zoe Bub. It was
Okay.
free for a little while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna actually take out the free downloads.
Yeah, because it definitely will drop.
Yeah, no, and that's good. Fine. That's totally fine if it does.
Yeah.
So it's not completely accurate, as you know, because we took out the freebies and we don't know what happened in between, but this gives us a little bit better information. So between 4 and 5 right here, your number does increase in your read through.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably with what you're doing. So you just want to make sure and keep that connection that you have between the two and remind them, hey, don't forget book 2. Here's the epilogue, but don't forget book 2. Okay.
Right.
It's okay to remind your newsletter often. How often are you sending out emails?
I send out once a week.
Okay. All right. All right. Sounds good. Okay. So let's look at the other one.
Oh yeah, that one.
That one is yours.
Oh,
okay.
that one. I don't
that's
push
yours.
all.
No, that's fine. That's good. Okay. So this right here, what is this?
Okay. So that's the prequel that I have. Now it is a freebie, so it's only there as a paperback.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not an ebook. So I have 3, 2. I'm trying to think of how many. I have a few that I just have in paperback that I'll bring to signings.
Okay.
But they are my freebies. Yeah.
Okay. So that one, is that the cover of it?
Yes. Yes. I know.
Stephanie,
I know.
slap together a picture of a naked guy and get it on your freebie.
So
go do that in Canva.
Yeah, I was gonna say book brushed. You can make it something that
when we're brand new and we don't know all the things.
I know.
meaning me. No. So when I wrote that story, I adore it. This is literally one of my favorite stories, right?
Yeah.
Except it does not have an HEA.
Ooh.
And so because it's the origin story of the evil stepmother, Cinderella's stepmother. And so you see how she just completely breaks and why she became who she is, which then it leads into the first book. So now I'm starting to switch it around because in the last year, part of my primary focus was to create a different reader magnet that had an HEA. And so I do have that now. I mean, and the thing is, I'm very open and honest. So when people click on that, they know 100% for sure it does not end in HEA. So I've never had anyone complain about it. Right. But the problem is I hadn't fully focused on plus size, curvy heroines. I did not have an HEA, which is a huge no-no. So I struggle with marketing that one and pushing it besides just using it as a newsletter freebie. And I've toyed with the idea if I want to add to it later and give her, redeem her and give her happily ever after, because I've had people reach out to me and they're like, oh, we want to, can you do that, please? So
I think they're telling you yes. I think they are telling you yes. You could just add to it, give her the HEA. And then you could actually reach back out to the people who are on your newsletter and say, hey, she has an HEA, check it out, go and read this. And then you can actually use that in the box set and it's actually more to your branding.
Correct.
Which I would say don't even offer it as a freebie if it doesn't fit your brand.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why, like I said, I was really focused this year. Because I mean, the first book came out two years ago. Yeah. And so that was now that especially going towards the end of the series and finishing it up, I really wanted something that was a better representation. So I do have a short story that is, a couple that features in the second book that readers came and asked me for. And so that is now going to be my brand new freebie.
Okay, sweet. I love it.
Very smart. Yeah.
All the things.
Right. Well, it's funny because I wrote the story and it's beautifully tragic on so many levels. And it was that one story, the one that flows out of you.
Yes.
And it's almost perfect word from word, just right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I write the first book and then I start, learning more. And I was like, oh, it doesn't have a happily ever after. What did I do to myself?
No, all you have to do is add to it.
It's all I had. And I thought, you know what, as long as I'm honest and the readers know when they click on it, that what they're going to get. And I have to say that always made me a little bit nervous. And I'm really grateful that, people, they looked at it and I'm knocking on wood now because I don't want to jinx myself, but no one has complained about the fact that it doesn't have an HEA. And I mean, it kind of shocked me that I didn't get even one person to reach out to me and say that. So
it's probably because you warned them ahead of time.
Yeah.
I hope so. And that I was trying to be as transparent as possible because
you're like, don't be a jerk.
Right. It's here's a taste of my writing, but by the way, and everything else. And I did say that too. The other stories all have an HEA. Okay. And so that they know going into it, it's not going to continue like that.
That you're not going to keep wounding them as they go.
I broke that poor woman. I broke her just in a million pieces in that story. And I never thought I would enjoy writing something like that. I did.
Now give her a guy that can fix her. My word.
Yes. Yeah, because she's horrible. Like she's horrible, even going into the first book. But people have a different understanding of her. And it's kind of along the lines of the Once Upon a Time, show
Yeah.
with
Like
Regina.
Regina.
And that's exactly. And that was who I thought of as I was
cool.
reading this story. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
She was one of my favorite characters because she was so flawed, and you got to see why she was so flawed.
And that was exactly it. And so with that story, you got to see why, because she wasn't a total jerk, to start with. And then you just see at the end, like that, my last couple lines, I just go, oh, because you just see her just shatter,
Oh, that's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. So I would think, oops, sorry, totally hit my computer. That was crazy. So, I think, no, but if you put some of those changes into place, like what we talked about, that you should see some differences. I was going to ask you, how long is book 1?
It's 455 pages, about 90,000 words.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That is a KU.
I write on typically 85 to 95,000. I try to write shorter and it never happens. Like,
why? You don't have
I sent my editor 65,000. And then when I got it back and I started making changes, it ended up at I think I added 25,000 words.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Like I can't stop myself.
I can't stop myself. Well, that's fine. Okay, so that's good. So that's actually a good place for KU then, if it's a nice fat book. So I think if you do that, you should start seeing some downloads. The first way to know if your ads are doing better is if your rank drops. Okay. $5 a day is fine. Anybody who says you have to test at $100 a day is drunk, or they work for Facebook. Like,
right.
Because you just don't need to spend.
How many ads should I start with? So
1 ad set.
Yeah.
And do 4 iterations of images.
Okay.
Right. And do the blurb. That's the only thing you're going to do is you're going to do the blurb, maybe do tropes for your headlines.
Yeah.
That's it. You can do up to 50 if you want, but just do under 1 ad set for $5 just to get it going. Once you start making $5 a day, it'll go up to 10. Once you hit $10 a day and you've doubled it, then you can start to think about scaling. But until it's making double the whole series, not just the book, the whole series, that's because you're going to be in a growth point, right? Like you're still in a growth point. So once the series is making you the double, then you can start thinking about scaling. But don't touch that ad for 7 days.
Okay. Yes. And I was leaving it for about 7 to 14 before I was making any changes, just to kind of give it some time.
Right. Or you don't have to go that long, 7 days.
Okay. So 7 days, if it's doing well, then I bump it to the 10.
No.
No. Or the 10 was when sorry.
Okay. So if it's doing well, meaning it hits, so at 7 days, you should be pausing any of the ads that don't have any spend.
Right. Okay.
So then you're like, oh, look, these are the ones Facebook likes.
Right.
And then you're looking at your income and you're like, hey, look, I'm hitting $5 a day. I personally think it's going to get there a little bit faster, the $10, but let's just say it takes a week and you're like, okay, I'm spending $5. I'm making $5. Sweet.
Yes.
You're going to leave it and you're going to wait for the read through to hit. And then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm actually making $10 a day, $15 a day. I'm actually going to predict that you're going to be at 20 a lot faster than 10. So I think you're going to be there faster than you think. So once you're there, you're not going to touch your ad spend. You're not going to touch your budget. You're going to leave that ad set alone. Okay. You can duplicate that ad. Yeah. The ad set, not the ad, but the ad set. And use the same images that were your winners in the first one.
Right.
And then you can start testing with your excerpts and whatever, but make sure the images correlate to your page, period.
Okay. That's
where I would go. Then I would just match that one again, $5 on that one. And you can change up the audience if you want. It's not necessary. Some people say that they compete with each other. They do not compete with each other in the same account. So that's just crazy.
Well, there's so when you think about, the audience itself and how big it is to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot off once you hit your amount anyway. So
yeah, right. I'm hitting $5. It's fine.
Well, I tried to explain it to my mom, and she's like, "Well, how many people are you reaching at 5?" And I'm like, "Well,
yeah, and that's okay. We don't care how. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because we're just starting at 5. And you actually do hit a lot of people at 5. Like it's like you hit more than you think. And so once you're at that point, then you're like, Bonnie, Mandy, I'm hitting $30-$40 a day for this series.
Call for me with just screaming. That's all.
Right. Then we'll be like, time to do a follow-up video.
Right. Yeah, no. And
We'll
like
tell
you
you how to scale once you get to that point, like to actually scale up, because you'll know what you're doing. So
right.
Yeah.
I'll see what's working. No, that's true. I mean, and that's really the whole point. Like, I'm willing to do and make whatever changes I need to, because, Amanda, you'd said this earlier, like, I don't want to rely on things like TikTok because it's so up and down and you never know. And that was why I started ads before I jumped back into TikTok, because I wanted to do ads and I knew that I needed that to grow, within this business. So
So if it was me and you're and everybody's starting to talk about going direct sales and everybody's starting to do all the things, whatever, stick with KU. If that's what works for you, that's great. However, I would have your Facebook pixel on your website, and I would be sending your TikTok people to your website to get like where to find your stuff. Okay. This is because if you do ever go direct or you do ever want to branch out, your pixel has already gathered all that information. It takes you 2 seconds to go in and create a lookalike audience based on pixel activity. And you have just reaped all of that work on TikTok.
Right. Actually, that reminds me to talk about the lookalike activity. Because I was just grasping at straws before I, paused my ads previously, that was going to be my next step, was if I hadn't heard from you, was creating a lookalike audience for my newsletter. No. Okay.
No. I would be like
people on your newsletter.
Well, like I said to you, at that point, I was like, I need to do something.
Desperation sucks.
Move the needle. And I couldn't, and again, with my limited experience, and just starting out this, I was like, that was the only thing I could think of.
It would go through it in an hour. You'd be like, oh, it's done now.
Yeah. So the only time that lookalike really, really works, because I hear people say, oh, just do a lookalike. No, because let's say the people that are in your newsletter audience, maybe you got them from freebie downloads. Maybe you got them from a swap that you did. So they're not actually not like the best ones. The ones that you want to do a lookalike audience off of is when you get that pixel running and you've got at least 1,000 people in the same area, like the same country, for instance, and they have interacted with your page, meaning they've gone to the landing page of your pixel. Okay. Then you create a lookalike of like 1%, maybe 2%. And it's a small one. And those are the ones that you retarget. What you're doing is traffic ads, and traffic ads are great, but they're cold, right? Like you can't retarget. People are like, oh yeah, you can. No, that's crazy. You can't. You can retarget to people who've interacted with your page. But again, that number is very small, right? Like it really is. Even people who have 300,000 followers, let's be honest, you don't have enough activity. So that's where traffic ads is hard to be like, yeah, let's retarget. No, you can't. But lookalikes, that's why I'm saying, hey, if you can get the TikTok ones to work and you've got your pixel on your site,
and they're just going to,
then you can actually be like,
with what you were saying earlier, with not sending them to, our book selling, it's to the website itself. So
yeah, and that prevents you from getting shot down at the knees by TikTok. So yeah, that's
I'm glad I asked, because it was when I had almost actually forgotten about it. And I thought when you said lookalike, I said, oh yeah, that's right. Let me ask about that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. A lot of people think that's the way to go, and it's not. It is not. This is not 2012 where your newsletter list was great. We all know the lists are dirty. People don't even use the correct emails anymore. So most people that sign up for newsletters now use like a backup email, and it's not their Facebook email. So it's not even an accurate representation, right? So yeah, we could sit here and talk direct sales and traffics and conversions and pixel usage all day long, but let's just stick with the traffic ads. No lookalikes for you.
Okay. No, I won't.
And you don't need them. You don't need them. Stephanie, do get your ad started now, because we're coming up on trad publishers and the major marketing push for fourth quarter, because it's a holiday season. So if you can get your ads in now and get them working now, then it won't be a big deal when the prices go up a little bit, because you'll know that they're working and you're not wasting money on testing. Okay. So if you can get them started, be cognizant of the fact that we're in Mercury retrograde, whatever psychoticness the universe is throwing at us right now. So
Right.
be
And
prepared.
And Facebook bot hell.
Oh my gosh.
I
right.
literally was crying last night, and I don't cry over much. I was crying. So I was like bawling, and my husband's like, "Are you okay? What's going on? How can I fix it?" I was like, "It's fine."
Right.
Facebook bots. Yeah. Facebook bots.
Oh, my
Messaging
goodness.
Mandy, I'm crying over here. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm trying to sleep." I get it.
Yeah. I said, have you eaten yet today?
Yeah, that's what you did. Have you eaten yet? And I was like, "No, it's not the time." I know in the scriptures, like Elijah, he's like being all cranky and stuff. And the Lord was like, "Go take a nap, eat a snack." And it was
Right.
like, all fine. Mandy's doing the same thing. Go eat a snack. You're going to be fine.
Go sleep. Yeah.
Go sleep. Yeah.
Everything's
Tomorrow's a new day.
when you haven't done either of those.
Okay. Well, go do something. All right, sweet. Well, thank you so much again, Stephanie, for joining us. I think that's everything we have. And just to let you know that if you want to do an ad account audit, please go ahead and sign up with the link below. We'd love to talk with you, and hit like and subscribe and all the things. And we can't wait to maybe do a follow-up with Stephanie a little bit later and see how she's doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Okay, guys. Thanks.
All right.